Hey there. Today we're going to look at what happens when you have a decimal in your dividend but not in your divisor. I'm still setting up the problem the same way with the first number inside the division house and the second number outside. I'm still asking myself, how many times can I count by 3 to get to each of these numbers? 3 doesn't go into 1, it goes into 10 3 times, because 3 times 3 is 9, and I'm left with 1. I bring down my 8, 3 goes into 18 6 times. Notice how I'm keeping everything lined up. Organization is the key here. Now, what we haven't seen before is what to do with this decimal. When you already have a decimal inside, there's nothing crazy to do. Just bring it straight up in your problem. Then you can bring your next number down and divide out. 3 goes into 6 2 times, because 3 times 2 is 6. I'm left with a 0 at the end. I'm left with nothing in my dividend that I haven't used, so I know I'm finished. The biggest thing that you need to pay attention to is keeping all of your numbers perfectly lined up so you know where to bring your decimal up. If you don't like to write this first 0, then that's going to screw you in the end because you're going to get your decimal in the wrong place. So please, please always put your placeholders. Always make sure every number in the dividend has a number above it in the quotient. We'll do 2 more, then you'll practice. 97.8 divided by 4. Count by 4s to get to 9. 4, 8. 2 times. 4 goes into 17 4 times, because 4 times 4 is 16. And I'm left with 1. 4 doesn't go into 1, and I have this 8 to bring down, but before I'm allowed to bring it down, I have to bring my decimal straight up into my quotient. Now that I've brought up my decimal, I can bring this next number down. 4 goes into 18 4 times, because 4 times 4 is 16. 4 doesn't go into 2, and you should remember from last week, you can add a 0 here and bring it down. And the reason why you can do that is because you already have this decimal here, so adding zeros behind doesn't change the value of your dividend. And I count by 4 5 times to get to 20, because 4 times 5 is 20. Let's do one more, then you'll practice. $327.6 divided by 14. This time I'm counting by 14s. What you should remember from before about larger divisors is that if you're not comfortable counting by 14s, list some multiples first. Just count by 14s. 14, 28, and it's counting by 7s double, right? 7, 14 would be 1. 21, 28. 35, 42. And then from there, it's not actually that easy, so I'm going to go 42 plus 14 and see what I get. 56 is my next one, plus 14 is 70, plus 14 is 84. So I just listed out my multiples, so now I can do my division easier. 14 doesn't go into 3, put up a 0. Count by 14 to get to 32. 2 times, because 14 times 2 is 28. Again, notice how every number in the dividend has a number in the quotient. I know 14 isn't going to go into 47 evenly, but I can count by it 3 times to get to 42. I'm left with 5. Remember, before I can bring the 6 down, I have to bring this decimal straight up, and now I can bring the 6 down. And 14 goes into 56 4 times. 14 times 4 is 56. I'm left with 0. Every number in my dividend has a number in the quotient. I'm done. Your turn.